Alright, so welcome back. This might be a two-parter, I guess. I don't know. But, so, I don't know if this is a good thing or not, but I kind of been tinkering with the speed. Now, you might just want to, have this thing ran wide open. But, yeah, so basically what I did was I was sharpening. I'm actually back on this side again. I did sharpen the other side off camera, obviously. Which would be, what cutters would they be? These, I think. But these got extremely sharp. I don't know why. There's like, the one set of cutters can get really sharp and the other side can't. They can't really get that sharp for whatever stupid reason. So I might have over sharpened them. I don't know, but I cranked this thing up to a 5. A 5, and I think there's a 6 and then there's a max, so probably like a 7 speed kind of thing. But it seems like once I got above 5, there was way more sparks, and the teeth were actually starting to smoke. I don't know if the smoking thing is a good thing or not. But I can tell you one thing, though, that when I was checking, when the other cutters were getting super sharp, I went back to the original ones that I sharpened on camera, and they were still, you could clearly see a difference. You could feel the difference. They should be sharper than that. I don't know if you want them blistering sharp, but I just got to figure it out, So no way you're ever going to learn anything. You just got to do it, and if you fuck it up, you fuck it up. There's nothing really to do. I mean, I would hate to destroy this chain and have to put my new one on, and then just be right back in the same thing again. And there's still a lot of life left in this chain yet, for how much cutting I actually am going to be doing. Oh, and I went to the house and got a newer marker, because the old one was just getting so wore out. But I had to go get a permanent marker, because I got to mark. I'm not going to mark this, but my container that my bits are sitting in, I want to write down speed 5 or higher, because you need to be at least over a 5, I think, to even have a fighting chance. So, but yeah, even these one side cutters, they still don't feel very sharp. And when I went back over them, I mean, they feel a little bit better than before. Before they were still pretty rounded. Now there's a little bit more of a sharp point to them, but not as bad. The other cutters are way sharper, which I don't know, that might be a bad thing. Yeah, see, like this tooth here, it's super sharp. Like it's not cutting my finger sharp, but it's sharper than these. So, but yeah, I don't know. Let's look at our little bit here. I don't know. There could still be plenty of life left in that yet. Doesn't feel very like soft or smoothed out, so you might get another round out of that, So, but unfortunately, I'm not gonna test the chain right now. I actually want to get in. It's actually 7 o'clock right now, and I want to get in and actually cook dinner or whatever the hell it is, right? And I just couldn't stand it anymore. I had to come out here and tinker with this. So, the real test will be when it's time to actually fire this thing up and go cut something. But I just hope that, you know, I mean, it looks sharp. I just don't think the hand file is ever doing it, you know, like, you'd have to have a thing that lets you see it real close. Like, you'll see some guys on YouTube, they'll do that with their phone or whatever. They'll get up real super close, and you can actually see the detail in the teeth. You're not going to get that with the naked eye. I can't. But, you know, just going off feeling, like that tooth, you know, like it, I could just keep grinding the shit out of that tooth, and it just, like, it never wants to get sharp. There is one tooth on here, though. I doubt I'll find it now. I don't think I'm going to be able to save it. I don't know. Can't really tell. I doubt I'm going to find it, but there's one tooth here that's pretty bad. I think it was just from, I don't know if it was from me sharpening it wrong or what the deal is, but there's a tooth on here that is pretty messed up. It's like it's too far, like, I don't know, maybe it's too, like, the angle's not right, which is probably on my end, obviously, but with time, that tooth will have to, it'll just have to come back on its own, which you can't do that with sharpening, because then you just wear it out, you know, like you would grind so much of the tooth away to fix it that you might as well just let it be. And then I'm sure I went past it, but there's one tooth on here that's not going to be correct, but I did sharpen it. I did try to bring it back to its proper angle. But you're just, I think it's this tooth, but I'm not, it looks like it's alright, but I don't know. It's not right. So all I can do is just sharpen it the best that I can, and then let it wear down with time. That's really all I can do. It's too far gone. So we'll see what this does now, if it actually will sharpen the shit, if it actually will cut. I did file down the things that limits the amount of bite. Some of them are just a touch bit high, which I don't think should really affect it. I mean, it'll affect it a little bit, but you wouldn't think it would affect it a whole hell of a lot. But moment of truth, I won't know until we get to cut something, which will probably be this. Which will probably be the stump in the yard. That's what I usually like to. When I fire up my saws for the first time, I'll run them through that stump. And I gotta clean my air filter too. Luckily, that you can just clean with some water. So, because it's a reusable. I think at some point you would have to replace it, especially if it gets damaged or something, but it's not damaged as yet. It's dirty. It needs to be cleaned. I don't clean my saws when I'm done with them, which is a bad habit. I fill them up, the fuel and the oil, and I'll loosen the chain, and then when I'm done, I'll put it up on the shelf. And then I'll put a shirt or something over it, like an old t-shirt or something, just because I don't want all the dust and dirt and crap on here. The saw gets dirty anyway, but I need to clean it. It got way dirtier this past summer. So this is all from last year. It's just dirt stuck to it. So I gotta take that off, clean it. This probably needs to be oh, my sticker's coming off. No. That's too bad. Oh well, maybe I could get a new one of those, but Steel Farm Boss. Of course, it said Farm Boss on the bar at one time. I actually have a picture of it when I bought the thing brand new. This was all pretty and white and had a name and stuff on it. Now you can see it's all just been burned off, but whatever. Another thing I guess I probably should do is flip the bar. They say to flip it after so many sharpenings. I don't remember what sharpening I'm on now. This would be the first one for this year, but I know I sharpened it last year, obviously, by hand. But I don't know. I'll probably flip it in the middle of summer. I'll probably flip it over. Because you want to wear the bar out evenly. And then you got to check for rolled edges. And I think I'm actually feeling one now. Feels good there, but here. Huh. Well, whatever. With time, obviously with the chain going around the bar, you're ever so slowly wearing the bar down, and then it'll start to form an edge. And then you can just take a hand file or a flat file and just file it off. Like, it doesn't take much to do that, because I've had to do that, I think, twice now. Once or twice I've had to do that, and it's, a couple swipes and it's gone. So, but that's obviously just, because the bar is wearing down. There will be a point I'll have to replace it, but I don't know if Stihl would even still have these bars in stock. They probably would, but if I have to get a new bar, I think I'll upgrade to the 18-inch. This is a 16-inch. Go to a slightly bigger bar, because I'll have to get a bigger chain. But whatever. By the time this bar will get wore down, I'll be pretty much out of chains, I think. So, but yeah, you definitely have to be at least at a 5 or more on your speed. I'll put you guys there for a minute. So, but yeah, that actually did pretty good. So now the question is, what do I do with this? Do I leave it in here, or do I put it back in the pile, But I don't know. I guess I could leave it in there for now. Well, that's probably what I'll do, because we're not going to have any calves this year, so we won't be making any tags this year. So, I don't know, maybe they'll just leave it in there. Yeah, it just barely fits, but come on, buddy. There we go. If it won't fit, then I'll have to take it out, but of course not. So, actually I am bleeding a little bit. Damn saw got me. I better not show YouTube that, or we're going to get pissed off, even though it's just a tiny little bit, but yeah, if you cut yourself, you obviously know then you got a good chain. So, but take my doohickey off. I'll just leave it on this guy. I could always grab another one of these and throw it in the Dremel tool as well, but I like to keep one with this at least. But yeah, you can take your hand file, and it feels good. So let's see here. What do I want to do here? Slide this over, put this down some more so it fits a little better. And then I don't know if this will stay on good, but just put speed. I think I spelled that wrong. speed 5 or higher. Spelled that wrong again, but whatever, I know. So write it on both sides. This probably won't stay on here, but whatever. There. So that way I just know. Yeah, I forgot to put my G in there. That's why I misspelled it. So yeah, either got to be at a speed 5 or higher to really get these things to do anything. Anything less than that, then you're not really going to get nothing done. So, but though, that's the way it's going to be. So, then I'll just take all this. Better put this back on before I lose a finger. But, well, gotta take it out here first, I guess. And then this will go with it. I've learned to always take this with me now whenever I go sharpening or when I go cutting. Because sometimes your chain will get loose for no reason and you gotta obviously tighten it in the field. So, but yeah, so we'll see just how good this will perform now when the time comes. So, but yeah, it feels a lot nicer. So, I don't know if it actually is sharp or not. I won't know until I'm cutting into something. So even when you cut into dead stuff, it might be may not cut as nice as if you're cutting down a tree, like an actual live tree. So most of my trees are alive when I cut them down, but usually when I like to test my saw, you know, this big stump here. Well, it's right here, I guess. That stump right there, that's what I'll run my saw through, just as a test, to make sure it's all still working properly and whatever. And believe it or not, it still has. It's probably due for a replacement. I don't know, I gotta look in the book, but it still has its original spark plug in it. I've never changed it. Probably wouldn't hurt to take it out, I suppose, and maybe clean it or put a new one in. So maybe that's why it's burning up more fuel. I don't know, but you think that it would be smoking more out of the exhaust if it wasn't running right. Most of the smoke comes out of the bar. But I think that's because it's got too much oil on it. So I've been backing the oil down a little bit every time I cut. So, but what do you do, right? So, but yeah, that'll be interesting now, I guess, to try. See how it cuts. But at least it's ready to go. So like if we actually had to use it for something, I think we could get away with it. But there's no trees down that I know of. I mean, there's still going to be trees I'm going to take down, obviously, but that's going to be more at the end of the year. So unless we have a storm coming through and it knocks a tree or two down, whatever, right? So, but I might just leave this stuff down here now. I don't know. It's a nuisance having to haul it all the time. The saw, I'll go back up to the house. Might as well take something with me, I guess, right? So, but since I come here, to sharpen my chain all the time, then I top it off with fuel or whatever, right? So should probably start taking that stuff with me too, I suppose, when I go to do stuff. But man, it's a lot of crap to haul with you all the time. But I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. So kind of learned it from last year, but last year was kind of a biatch because we got a lot of storm. Well, we got that one big storm, and it took down half the forest. So it was a lot of work that year. And then we had to kind of dodge the rain, and would have been done sooner if we were able to have gotten the hay cut sooner and baled. But since we got kind of a late start to that as well, it put everything else behind. So, but it's done with now. So, just a lot of little bit of cleaning up here and there. There is, I think, 1 or 2 trees I probably wouldn't mind taking down just to get rid of them, but I don't know. Fortunately, the Blazer, I'm going to at least order I'm going to call up my local GM dealer, start with them first, which is over on North Dakota side, and see if they would have a main drive belt for the Blazer. Because that's obviously, that's what's squeaking. So, I don't think it'll break, but, because I got to go to the cities next month. I think it's more towards the end. So I kind of like to have at least a drive belt with me. So in case if it did snap on the way there, then I could obviously just put my new one on and then send it. But that's all I'm probably going to be able to get, that and maybe a fuel cap. I don't really know. But I want to get all the tensioner pulleys and stuff like that too, but that's not going to happen right away because there's not going to be enough money there for all of that. So, and then if GM can't get it, then I'll have to go with an AC Delco, which wouldn't be too bad because I can probably get it from him. But if he has any in stock, I don't know, but I'm going to get one anyway. And then I'll just keep that in the Blazer in case the other one blows up. And then just keep buying parts for it. And then by then maybe we'll have a stockpile of parts. And then we can slop them in the Blazer. And they'll take care of that. If the squeak goes away, well, that's good. If it don't, well, then whatever. At least I know there's less to worry about. But it seems like when you start to get more comfortable, like you get rid of things that you think might be an issue, you end up getting other issues like a blown tire or your alternator goes out. And obviously I'm not going to keep an alternator with me. So you can't keep every freaking part with you. Just the basics. So I'm not going to keep a whole goddamn, stock of parts. So another thing I got to try to do this year, I wanted to do it last year, but I never did do it. I want to take the spare tire off the Blazer, make sure all that still works. Make sure the spare tire is still good, even though I think it's original. I could have it replaced with a new one just to make me feel better. But since I'm running this is the thing I don't know. Since I'm running a different style rim, I don't know if my lug nuts would fit to the old style rims. The spare tire. The spare tire is actually always different from whatever you have as your main set of rims. But since I think it should all be the same, the pattern would be the same, but I don't know. I don't know if my lug nuts would be too long or if they'd be too short now, So, not that I'm going to take off my tires and see if it'll fit, but the thing I want to do is I want to go and grab at least 6 bolts or 6 lug nuts off the old rims and keep them on the Blazer. Just in case if my new, lug nuts don't fit the old rim, well then at least I have the old rims that I know that'll fit it. So, because I don't know if my newer style lug nuts would fit it. So, if I could get a proper tightening out of that. So, but I don't know, kind of, it's just going to kind of be whatever, right? So, but, I don't know, it'll just kind of be whatever. So, but I got to get the Blazer done. I want to get some parts for the 15, but that's not going to happen. That may not even happen until fucking who knows when. Because I think in May, it might be May, I got to get oil for the Blazer. Because the oil life is down now. It's down to 22%. And for the amount of driving I do, that should last. Well, you would think at least for a couple more months, but at the rate that I'm driving it. So, but I like to have that stuff in stock. The oil, the filter, which that's all AC Delco because I get that from him. So I don't, it's all good stuff. So I'm not going to be too worried about it, So I do keep spare oil in the Blazer. I think I have one full quart. And then a half a quart or whatever. That's what I used. I always end up with half quart containers because I do like a flush, which obviously is you dump your main oil out and then you don't put your drain plug back in, you just add more oil to it and you push that oil out. And that'll just push any junk and stuff that's at the bottom of your oil pan around the plug. It'll push it out if it happens to be there. So just cleans it up a little bit, makes me feel a little better. I've done that with all my machines, so that'll never change. So, but I keep a little bit of oil in the Blazer, obviously, just I guess in case you spring a leak or something, then you can top it off and limp it home. So, but what do you do? So can't be prepared for everything, but I'm doing the best that I can. So I don't know if we'll get any parts or not for the 15 this year or not. I don't know. It's just got too much going on. Everything else keeps going wrong, So fix the Blazer up, get a few things for that, change the oil in it when it's time, and then you got June and July that are going to be coming up. Well, I'm not going to be changing the oil in Big Red. I didn't even change it last year either because obviously I'm not running it. The oil's still perfectly clean in it. So really all I got now is the Blazer and the John Deere. And then when I do get the 1586 fully repaired, even including the brand new tire, I'm going to change the oil in that as well because I haven't changed that since 2021. So it'll just make me feel better knowing that's got fresh oil in it as well. But that's not going to be for probably another year or two. I don't know. It's just too much going on, and obviously there's no money coming in this year for cattle. So it's just the way it's going to be. So got to pick my battles, and I kind of want to keep the Blazer as top priority. But what do you do? So, but yeah, anyways, guys, I'm going to take off. I just want to give you guys, let you guys know what was going on with this. So, this actually feels a lot nicer now. So, hopefully she'll cut decent. I don't know. We'll find out. So, but guys, I'm going to take off. I want to go and cook something to eat now. Cause I can tell it's already like 7:30, maybe a quarter to 8 because the way the sun is. So, oh yeah, and I also did get... I did make a video on it, but I never uploaded it. It just got too long. I did get my mounts. It's a 2-pack, but I'm just going to need the one. That is for obviously to put a CB radio in the shop. That's what this big white pipe is going to be for, and then this. But I think this white pipe, I'm going to repaint that. This is not priority. This is just something I'm going to work on throughout the year or something, whatever, right? So, like, once I get, like, the radio and stuff here and the antennas and whatever, then we'll do what I got to do. But for that, I want to paint that white trim at the top. That needs to be done before anything else. Paint that. And then I'm going to paint this pipe. I'm going to repaint this black, I think. Take the white paint off because it's coming off anyway. Get some black paint. I'm going to put some primer on this too, I think. We'll do that right. Cut off the bolts that are welded to it, obviously. Cut them off. And then I'll slip my antenna on there. Probably just get another B100 Workman. Unless I get an Antron 99 for the house at some point, but are they going north? Hell yeah, they are. That's the first set of geese I've seen for the year. So they're finally going north. So that's got to be a good sign, right? So, but yeah, anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm going to take off. Like I said, the CB stuff, that isn't priority. That's way down the list. But, you know, these were like $20. Or no, yeah, 20. I think $20 for that. So, heavy duty. Super heavy duty. So, we'll hold up. But, like I said, that's not priority. I don't even have a radio to put in here anyway. But, just pick away at it. You know, little things here and there. Whatever's the cheapest, get it. It'd be one less thing to get, you know. So, yeah. But yeah, anyways, guys, I'm going to take off. So I guess I have a good day and stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.